She said, "I need some space, don't call me." Then I saw photos of her at the beach with her best guy friend. I just smiled. You're right. So I changed all the locks and packed up all her stuff and moved it back to her mom's place. When she came back blowing up my phone, I was already chilling in a first-class seat, right next to a female coworker. I just need some space. Please don't call me anymore. That was the last thing she said before the line went dead. At first I thought it was just one of those temporary breaks couples take, a few days to cool off, to breathe. So I waited. I texted her once, twice, asking if she was okay. No answer, just silence, that silence. It was deafening. It filled every corner of my apartment, every thought in my head. The kind of silence that feels heavier than words. And then, a day later, I saw it. Her face glowing under the sunset, laughter frozen in a photo at the beach. Her caption read, "Finally free. Needed this." But it wasn't the smile that broke me. It was the man standing next to her, the one she'd always called her best friend, the same man she told me not to worry about. My hands didn't shake. My heart didn't race. Instead, I felt calm, a strange kind of clarity, the kind that comes when you finally see the truth. I looked at the photo one more time and whispered to myself, "You're right, Emily, you do need space," and this time, I decided I'd give her all the space she'll ever need. We had been together for almost 3 years. 3 years of shared dinners, lazy Sundays, and late-night talks about the future, about us. We lived in my apartment, a small but cozy place with warm lights and a tiny balcony where she liked to drink her coffee every morning. It was ours, or at least that's what I thought. From the beginning, he was always there, her best friend, showing up at birthdays, parties, and quiet nights in. At first, I told myself it was fine, but the uneasy feeling never left me. He was there at birthdays, at parties, even at quiet movie nights where I sometimes found his name lighting up her phone screen mid-laughter. At first, I told myself it was fine. I didn't want to be that jealous boyfriend. Every time she smiled at his messages, a quiet unease settled in me. One night I tried to talk about it. "Emily," I said softly, "do you think it's normal that he calls you every night?" She laughed, and not kindly but mockingly. "Oh, come on. You're overthinking again. Not every guy wants to sleep with me, you know." I remember standing there, frozen, wondering why her defense sounded more like guilt than amusement. Still, I let it go. Because when you love someone, you want to believe them, even when the truth already hurts. Months passed. We argued more often, mostly about small things that didn't matter. Dishes left in the sink, late replies, cancelled plans. But deep down I knew we were arguing about something bigger, something she didn't want to say out loud. Then came the day she said she needed space. I didn't fight it. Maybe part of me hoped that by giving her that space, she'd realize what she was losing. But that hope died the moment I saw that photo, the beach, the sunset, and him. It wasn't just a betrayal. It was a revelation, a confirmation that I need space really meant I need freedom from you, from honesty, from commitment. I stared at that photo for a long time. Every memory, every laugh, every promise suddenly felt staged, and yet I didn't cry. Not because I didn't care, but because something inside me finally clicked. She didn't just take her things and leave. She took the version of me that still believed in her, and what she left behind was someone new, someone who no longer wanted to chase answers or apologies, someone who for the first time felt an unexpected clarity. That's when I realized maybe space wasn't such a bad thing after all. I just had to redefine who it really belonged to. I didn't call her. I didn't text her. For the first time since I met Emily, I chose silence, not the desperate kind, the one filled with waiting and what-ifs, but the heavy, grounded kind that comes when you finally realize, you're done. That night I sat alone in the apartment we once shared. The faint scent of her perfume still lingered on the couch cushions. Her favorite mug sat half-cleaned by the sink. Everywhere I looked, there she was, a ghost haunting a place that no longer felt like home. I could have cried. I could have screamed. But instead that night, I sat alone in the apartment we once shared. The silence felt heavy, almost suffocating. I thought about calling her, but instead I made a different call. A locksmith. Tonight the locks would change. Tonight I'd reclaim my space. When the locksmith arrived, I let him change the old lock quietly, feeling a small sense of closure as the door finally belonged to me again. When he left, I turned off the lights and sat in the dark for a moment. Then I started packing, one box at a time. I packed her clothes, books, and personal items carefully, each one reminding me of memories we shared. It wasn't anger driving me, it was clarity. Every shirt, every photo, every perfume bottle, it all went into boxes labeled Emily. When I was done, I looked around. For the first time in a long while, the apartment didn't feel suffocating. It felt mine again. The next morning, I rented a small moving van and drove those boxes across town to her mother's house. Her mom looked surprised when she opened the door. "Oh, hi. Where's Emily?" "She's taking some space," I said calmly. "These are her things." I figured this is where they belong. Her mum's expression shifted, confusion, then quiet understanding. She didn't ask more, and I didn't explain. I just set the boxes by the door, wished her a good day, and left. No yelling, no tears, no confrontation. Just quiet, deliberate closure. That same afternoon, I sat down at my desk, opened my laptop, and did something I hadn't done in years. I booked a vacation, a first-class ticket to anywhere warm and far away. Somewhere the air didn't smell like regret. Maybe this is what freedom feels like, calm and quiet without anger or revenge. In the following days, I went through a quiet transformation. I cleaned the apartment, replaced the sheets, donated some of the furniture we'd bought together. I even changed the scent of the room, traded her floral candles for sandalwood. By the time my flight date arrived, the place no longer looked like our home. It was my home. The morning of the flight, I left early. My bag was light. Just clothes, headphones, and a book I'd been meaning to read for months. At the airport, while waiting in the lounge, I scrolled through social media. Her profile was still public. She had posted another photo, this time at a cafe, her hair wet from the beach, the same man sitting opposite her. The caption read, "Some people just don't appreciate what they have until it's gone." For a brief moment, I almost laughed. She wasn't wrong, except she had no idea who she was really talking about. I turned off my phone, boarded the plane, and sank into the plush first-class seat. The flight attendant smiled, offered me a glass of champagne, and for the first time in months I smiled back, genuinely. I didn't need closure from her. I already had it. I looked out the window as the city shrank beneath me. A thought crossed my mind. Maybe she'll come back one day, maybe she won't. But either way, I wouldn't be here waiting, because she wanted space. And I had finally learned how to give it to her. Perfectly. A week later she came back, not a text, not a call, and she just showed up. I guess she thought I'd still be waiting, like always. From what I heard later, she'd just returned from that beach trip. Tan skin, messy hair, that same carefree smile. The kind of smile people wear when they think they got away with something. But the look on her face must have changed real fast when she tried to open the door. And the key didn't fit. She tried again, jiggled it. Then harder. Nothing. That's when she started pounding on the door. "Open up, what the hell, Mark?" My phone lit up. First one call, then another. Then 10. I didn't pick up. Then came the texts. At first, "What's going on?" "Why'd you change the lock?" "So Mark, this isn't funny." Then they got uglier. "You psycho. How dare you lock me out of my place? You're pathetic, you know that." I read every word. And I smiled. Not because I hated her, but because, finally, she sounded exactly how she made me feel. Desperate and powerless. Later, she left a voicemail. Her voice cracked halfway through it. "You can't do this to me, Mark. I just needed time." "You overreacted. Needed time, huh?" She had all the time she wanted. Just not in my space anymore. I didn't reply or explain. I didn't need to. I sank into my seat on the plane and allowed myself a quiet smile for the first time in months. Somewhere between the champagne and the clouds, my phone buzzed again. Another call from Emily. I looked at it for a second, then flipped the camera toward the window. The view was perfect. Golden light spilling over the wings, a glass of wine, the cuff of a blazer sleeve next to mine. I snapped a photo and sent it to her with one message. "You said you needed space. Now we both have plenty of it. Hope you enjoy yours as much as I'm enjoying mine." Then I switched to airplane mode. Simple. Clean. The most peaceful breakup I'd ever had. I could almost imagine her face when she saw that message. The disbelief, the anger, the sting. Maybe she'd call him the best friend. And she did. From what mutual friends later told me, she called him crying. saying I'd lost it, and he, of course, played the hero. Don't worry about him. You deserve better. Come stay with me for a while. And that's exactly what she did, moved in with him. Posted pictures together not even a week later. Same captions, same fake smiles. Like they were trying to prove something to the world or maybe to themselves, but honestly, I didn't care anymore. Because while she was busy pretending to be happy, I actually was. Somewhere between takeoff and landing, I realized something funny. When people show you who they really are, you don't need revenge. You just need distance. And I'd just given her all the distance she could ever ask for. It's funny how fast freedom loses its shine. For the first few weeks, they appeared online constantly. I didn't engage, simply muted their updates. See, silence has a way of doing what arguments can't. It lets people sit with their choices. A few months passed. I got promoted, moved to a new apartment downtown. Bright windows, plants, the kind of peace you don't realize you've been missing until you finally have it. I started running again, picked up guitar lessons. I even laughed more. Then one morning my phone buzzed. Unknown number. The message said, "Hey, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but can we talk?" I stared at it for a while. Didn't need to ask who it was. I checked her socials. The pictures with him were gone and her bio was empty. Turns out Mr. Best Friend wasn't exactly boyfriend material. He'd been texting other women behind her back, the same way she used to text him behind mine. Karma doesn't rush, but it never forgets. She ended up moving back in with her parents, from what I heard. Got into therapy. Tried reaching out to old friends, but most of them had quietly faded away. People get tired of drama eventually. And me, I never replied to that message. Not because I was angry, but because for the first time in a long while, I didn't need to explain myself. She already knew what she'd lost. Not me, necessarily, but the version of herself she was when she was with me. The stable one. The calm one. Funny thing is, I used to think closure came from conversations, sitting across from someone, talking things out, finding peace through words. But now I know. Sometimes closure is just a door that doesn't open anymore. Every now and then I'll walk past our old coffee shop, the place where she first told me she needed space, and it still makes me smile. Not because I miss her, but because I finally understand what she really meant. She didn't need space. She needed to lose me to find herself, and I needed to lose her. To find peace. Months later, I ran into her by accident. Grocery store. Sunday morning. The kind of ordinary moment that used to feel like home. She looked different. Not bad, just tired. Eyes dimmer. Shoulders lower. She froze when she saw me. I nodded quietly. She gave a small, hesitant smile. "Hey," she said softly. "You look good." "Thanks," I said. "You too." We stood there for a few seconds, just strangers with memories. Then she said something that stuck with me. I didn't realize how much peace costs until I lost mine. I didn't know what to say, so I just nodded. Because honestly, that was the first honest thing she'd said in years. She left first. I watched her walk away, and for the first time I didn't feel anger or pity or even nostalgia, just peace. That night I cooked dinner for myself. Music playing low, glass of wine, city lights outside. I looked around my apartment, clean, calm, quiet, and realized something simple but powerful. I didn't need anyone to fill the silence anymore. When the wrong person leaves, it might feel empty at first, but that space can be where healing begins.